So now that we know how to find the correlation, which we talked about all through the last section, and what its implications are, remember that the correlation coefficient R is a measure of how linear something is. So the next logical conclusion is, how do you find the line, and what is the line? So like there's one line that's going to be the best line. It's sometimes called the line of best fit, the linear regression line, the least squares regression line, all of those names. And it's going to be the best line, the big kahuna, as it were. All right, so if that's the case, how could we find it? Well, we'll learn how to find it with Excel in a bit, but let's look at some other things first. So this is the same data set we had back a couple pages right here, right, with fertility rate and life expectancy. Okay, so I've done this problem before, so bear with me here. But what's the value of the correlation coefficient? Now, I know it's negative 0.76177, and not just because I wrote it earlier or whatever. What you do is you can see that in the graph, see how it says r squared is 0.5803, right? Well, that means that you can take the square root, equals square root of 0.5803, enter, and you can get r. Well, the absolute value of r. And then when you look at the graph, you can see, oh, it's going downwards, so it's got a negative r value. All right, now what does that value tell us? Since it's negative 0.76177, what does that correlation coefficient tell us about the relationship between these two variables? Namely, that there is a moderate negative relationship between fertility rate and life expectancy. Which I screwed up that before. Let me go back. I should have said moderate back here because it's only 0.76. Remember, 0.80 is the threshold for being strong. So this is only moderate. It's not quite to the 0.80 level. And it's negative. You can see the slope's going down, meaning the more children a woman has, the lower the life expectancy. Okay. Now, when you look at it, I drew these arrows here. There's a country in 1962, supposed country in 1962, had a fertility rate of 4.207. So I drew a line right here, a little arrow at 4.207 or so. And then using the linear equation given on the graph, what would be the what would we expect that country's life expectancy to be? And I drew it over here. You can kind of see it's about 61 to 62. We think. I mean, I'm just kind of eyeballing it here. You're looking for where the 4.207 line would hit the black line, the least squares regression line, and then going over here and figuring out what y value that is. Now it's said to use the equation. See that? So the equation's right here. It's given to you right here. Y equals negative 0.5803. There it is. I'm going to copy and paste that. Negative 5.03. Plus 82.58. So what we would do is we would put negative 5.0303 times, parentheses, 4.207, because they're giving us that x value, that fertility rate, plus 82.528. All right, I have other things to do with my time than to do this, so I'm going to go to Excel and make Excel do it. Equals negative 5.0303 times 4.207 plus 82.528. Oops. Oh, I forgot the time symbol. There you go. Now, this one it thinks is text, so I'm ignoring that one and I'm going right to here. All right, so it's 61.3655. So we were right on target with that guess of 61 to 62. But this is what it really is. Hold on. There we go. So this answer is judging from the graph, but this is the answer they were actually asking for. So that's the one I'm going to underline because that's from the equation. I could spell equation. Alrighty. Now, Gabon is a country in sub-Saharan Africa, and it actually had a birth rate of 4.207 and a life expectancy of 40.387 in 1962. Compute, draw, and label the residual, i.e. the error on that graph. Okay, so let me take a moment and move this arrow right here. So this is Gabon, that little dot right there. I'm going to make this arrow disappear. Okay, see that distance right there? That's your error. What you thought was going to happen was up here at 61 on the black line, and what actually happened is down here at the blue dot. All right, we'll be back here next time for more.